All right. Ezekiel 36. And you, son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Israel, and you shall say, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, because the enemy has said of you, Aha, the heights of old have become our possession. Therefore, prophesy, and you shall say thus, said the Master Yahweh, because they laid you waste and swallowed you up on every side, so that you became the possession of the rest of the nations, and you are taken up by the lips of talkers and slandered by the people. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Master Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the deserted ruins, and to the cities that have been forsaken, which became a prey and a mocking to the rest of the nations all around. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, have I not spoken in my burning jealousy against the rest of the nations, and against all Edom, who gave my land to themselves as a possession, with all joy of heart, with scorn in their being, to drive it out for a prey? Therefore prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and you shall say to mountains, and to hills, to rivers, and to valleys, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I have spoken in my jealousy and my wrath, because you have borne the shame of the nations. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, I have lifted my hand in an oath that the nations that are around you shall bear their own shame. But you, O mountains of Israel, put forth your branches and bear your fruit to my people Israel, for they are about to come. For look, I am for you, and I shall turn to you, and you shall be tilled and sown. And I shall increase men upon you, and all the house of Israel, all of it. And the cities shall be inhabited, and the ruins rebuilt. And I shall increase upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bear young. And I shall make you inhabited as of old, and do better for you than at your beginnings. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. And I shall let men, my people Israel, walk among you. You devour men, and have bereaved your nation. Therefore you shall no longer devour men, and no longer bereave your nation, declares the Master Yahweh. Ooh, I missed a part. Let's go back. And I shall increase upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bear young. And I shall make you inhabited as of old, and do better for you than at your beginnings. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. And I shall let men, my people Yisrael, walk upon you, and let them possess you, and you shall be their inheritance. And no longer let you add to their bereavement. Thus said the Master Yahweh, because they do say to you, you devour men, and have bereaved your nation. Therefore you shall no longer devour men, and no longer bereave your nation, declares the Master Yahweh. And no longer shall I let you hear the insults of the nations, and the reproach of the people. You shall bear no more, and no longer cause your nations to stumble, declares the Master Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own ways and deeds. To me their way was like the uncleanliness of a woman in her monthly period. So I poured out my wrath on them for the blood they had shed on the land, and for their idols they defiled it. And I scattered them among the nations, and they were dispersed throughout the lands. I have judged them according to their ways and their deeds. And when they came to the nations, wherever they went, they profaned. Excuse me. They profaned my set-apart name, for it was said of them, these are the people of Yahweh, and yet they have gone out of his land. But I had compassion on my set-apart name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations, wherever they went. Therefore say to the house of Israel, and thus said the Master Yahweh, I do not do this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my set-apart name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations wherever you went. And I shall set apart my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst, and the nations shall know that I am Yahweh, declares the Master Yahweh, when I am set apart in you before their eyes. And I shall take you from among the nations, and I shall gather you out of all the lands, and shall bring you into your own land. And I shall sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols I cleanse you. And I shall give you a new heart, and put a new spirit within you. And I shall take the heart of stone out of your flesh, and I shall give you a heart of flesh, and put my spirit within you. And I shall cause you to walk in my laws, and guard my right rulings, and shall do them. And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers. And you shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. And I shall save you from all your uncleannesses. And I shall call for the grain and increase it, and shall bring no scarcity of food upon you. And I shall increase the fruit of your trees and the increase of your fields, so that you need never again bear the reproach of scarcity of food among the nations. And you shall remember your evil ways and your deeds that were not good, and you shall loathe yourselves in your own eyes for your crookednesses and your abominations. Not for your sake am I acting, declares the Master Yahweh. Let it be known to you. Be ashamed and blush for your ways, O house of Israel. Thus said the Master Yahweh, on the day that I cleanse you from all your crookednesses, I shall cause the cities to be inhabited, and the ruined places shall be rebuilt, and the land that was laid waste tilled, instead of being a ruin before the eyes of all who pass by. And they shall say, this land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden, and the wasted, the deserted, and the destroyed cities are now walled and inhabited. Then the nations which are left all around you shall know that I, Yahweh, have rebuilt and destroyed places and planted what was laid waste. I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and I shall do it. Thus said the Master Yahweh, once again I shall let the house of Israel inquire of me, to do for them. I shall increase their men like a flock, as a set-apart flock, as the flock at Jerusalem at her appointed times. So shall the wasted cities be filled with flocks of men, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Hang on a second. Excuse me. 37. The hand of Yahweh was upon me, and took me out by the Spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley, and it was filled with bones. And he made me pass among them all around, and see, there were very many on the surface of the valley, and see, they were very dry. And he said to me, Son of man, would these bones live? And I said, O Master Yahweh, you know. Again he said to me, prophesy to these bones, and you shall say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh to these bones, see, I am bringing into you a spirit, and you shall live. And I shall put sinews on you, and bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put a spirit in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. And I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and there was a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to bone. And I looked and saw sinews and flesh came upon them, and skin covering them, but there was no spirit in them. He then said to me, prophesy to the spirit. Prophesy, son of man, and you shall say to the spirit, thus said the Master Yahweh, come from the four winds, O spirit, and breathe on these killed ones so that they live. And I prophesied as he commanded me, and the spirit came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, a very great army. And he said to me, son of man, these bones are all the house of Israel. See, they say, our bones are dry. Our expectancy has perished, and we ourselves have been cut off. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, O my people, I am opening your burial sites, and shall bring you up from your burial sites, and shall bring you into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahweh, when I open your burial sites, my people, and bring you up from your burial sites. And I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall settle you in your own land. And you shall know that I, Yahweh, have spoken, and I have done it, declares Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, and you, son of man, take a stick for yourself, and write on it, for Yehudah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and write on it, for Yosef, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. Then bring them together for yourself into one stick, and they shall become one in your hand. And when the children of your people speak to you, saying, won't you show us what you mean by these? Say to them, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am taking the stick of Yosef, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribe of Israel, his companions, and I shall give them into him with the stick of Yehudah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And the sticks on which you write shall be in your hand before their eyes. And speak to them, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am taking the children of Israel from among their nations, wherever they have gone, and shall gather them from all around, and I shall bring them into their land. And I shall make them one nation in the land, on the mountains of Israel, and one sovereign shall be sovereign over them all. And let them no longer be two nations, and let them no longer be divided into two reigns. And they shall no longer defile themselves with their idols, nor with their disgusting matters, nor with any of their transgressions. And I shall save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and I shall cleanse them, and they shall be my people, and I be their Elohim, while David, my servant, is sovereign over them. And they shall all have one shepherd, and walk in my right rulings, and guard my laws, and shall do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given to Jacob, my servant, where your fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell in it, they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David be their prince forever. And I shall make a covenant of peace with them, an everlasting covenant. It is with them, and I shall place them and increase them, and shall place my set-apart place in their midst forever. And my dwelling place shall be over them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the nations shall know that I Yahweh am setting Israel apart when my set apart place is in their midst forever. 38. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Gog of the land of Magog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and I shall turn you around, and I shall put hooks into your jaws, and shall lead you out with all your army, horses and horsemen, clad perfectly, a great assembly with armor and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Cush, and Put are with them, all of them with the shield and helmet. Gomer and all its bands, the house of Togarmah from the far north, and all its bands, many people with you. Be ready, prepare yourselves, you and all your assemblies that are assembled unto you, and you shall be a guard for them. After many days you shall be called up. In the latter years you shall come into the land of those brought back from the sword and gathered from many people on the mountains of Israel, which had been a continual waste, but they were brought out of the peoples, and all of them shall dwell safely. And you shall go up coming like a storm, covering the land like a cloud, you and all your bands, and many people with you. Thus said the Master Yahweh, and it shall be in that day that words arise in your heart, and you shall devise an evil plan, and you shall say, Let me go up against a land of unwalled villages. Let me go to those at rest who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and leaving neither bars nor gates, to take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out your hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, and against a people gathered from the peoples, acquiring livestock and goods, who dwell in the woods. Who dwell in the middle of the land. I lost my spot. After many days you shall be called up, in the latter years you shall come into the land of those brought back from the sword and gathered from many people on the mountains of Israel, which have been a continual waste, but they were brought out of the peoples, and all of them shall dwell safely. And you shall go up, coming like a storm, covering the land like a cloud, you and all your bands, and many peoples with you. Thus said the Master Yahweh, and it shall be in that day that words arise in your heart, and you shall devise an evil plan. And you shall say, Let me go up against a land of unwalled villages. Let me go to those at rest who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, to take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out your hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, against a people gathered from the peoples, acquiring livestock and goods, who dwell in the middle of the land. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish and all their young lions shall say to you, Have you come to take plunder? Have you gathered your army to take booty, to bear away silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods, to take great plunder? Therefore, son of man, prophesy, and you shall say to Gog, thus said the Master Yahweh, in the day when my people Israel dwell safely, would you not know? And you shall come from your place out of the far north, you and many peoples with you, all of them riding on horses, a great assembly and a mighty army. And you shall come up against my people, Israel, like a cloud to cover the land. In the latter days it shall be, and I shall bring you against my land, in order that the nations know me, when I am set apart in you, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus said the Master Yahweh, are you the one I spoke of in former days by my servants, the prophets of Israel, who prophesied for years in those days to bring you against them? And it shall be on that day, on the day when Gog comes against the land of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh, that my wrath shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath I have spoken. On that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fish of the sea and the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the field and all creeping creatures that creep on the earth and all men who are on the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall fall to the ground. And I shall call for a sword against Gog on all my mountains, declares the Master Yahweh, the sword of each one being against his brother. And I shall judge him with pestilence and blood, and rain down flooding rain and hailstones, fire and sulfur on him and on his bands and on the many people who are with him. And I shall exalt myself and set myself apart, and I shall be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. 39. And you, son of man, prophesy against Gog, and you shall say, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am against you, O Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and shall turn you around and lead you on, and bring you up from the uttermost parts of the north, and bring you against the mountains of Israel, and shall strike the bow out of your left hand, and make the arrow fall from your right hand. On the mountains of Israel you shall fall, you and all your bands, and the people who are with you. To the bird of prey of every wing, and to the beasts of the field, I shall give you for food. On the face of the field you shall fall, for I have spoken, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall send fire upon Magog and on those who live undisturbed in the coastlands. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, and I shall make my set-apart name known in the midst of my people Israel, and not let my set-apart name be profaned any more. And the nations shall know that I am Yahweh, the set-apart one in Israel. See, it shall come, and it shall be done, declares the Master Yahweh. This is the day of which I have spoken. And those who inhabit the cities of Israel shall go out and set on fire and burn with weapons both the shields and armor, the bows and arrows, the clubs and spears. They shall make fires with them for 7 years, and take no wood from the field, nor cut down any from the firearms. For with the weapons they make fire, and they shall plunder those who plundered them, and loot those who looted them, declares the Master Yahweh. Oh, excuse me. And it shall be on that day that I give Gog a place for a burial site. There in Israel, the valley of those passing by east of the sea, and stopping those passing by, because there they shall bury Gog and all his crowd, and shall call it the valley of Hamon Gog. And the house of Israel shall bury them for 7 new moons, in order to cleanse the land. And all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be for a name to them on the day that I am esteemed, declares the Master Yahweh, and they shall separate men who continually pass through the land, burying those who were passing through, those left on the surface of the ground in order to cleanse it. And the end of 7 new moons they shall search, and those passing through shall pass through the land. And when anyone sees a man's face, when anyone sees a man's bone, he shall set up a sign beside it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamongog. And also a city named Hamonah shall be there, so they shall cleanse the land. And you, son of man, thus said the Master Yahweh, say to the bird of every wing, and to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves, and come, gather from all around to my slaughtering, which I am slaughtering for you, a great slaughtering on the mountains of Israel. And you shall eat flesh and drink blood. Eat the flesh of the mighty, drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams and lambs, of goats and bulls, all of them fatlings of Bashan. And you shall eat fat till you are filled, and drink blood till you are drunk, at my slaughtering which I am slaughtering for you. And you shall be satisfied at my table with horses and riders, with mighty men, and with all the men of battle, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall set my esteem among the nations, and all nations shall see my judgment, which I have executed. All right, I'm back to 19. And you shall eat fat till you are filled, and drink blood till you are drunk, at my slaughtering which I am slaughtering for you. And you shall be satisfied at my table with horses and riders, with the mighty men, and with all the men of battle, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall set my esteem among the nations, and all nations shall see my judgment which I have executed, and my hand which I have laid on them. And the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh their Elohim from that day onward. And the nations shall know that the house of Israel went into exile for their crookedness, because they have trespassed against me, so that I concealed my face from them. And I gave them into the hand of their adversaries, and they all fell by the sword, according to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions. I have dealt with them, and concealed my face from them. I therefore said, the Master Yahweh, now I am going to bring back the captives of Jacob, and I shall have compassion on all the house of Israel, and shall be jealous for my set-apart name. And they shall have borne their shame, and all their trespass they committed against me, when they dwell safely in their own land, with no one to make them afraid. When I have brought them back from the peoples, and gathered them out of the lands of their enemies, and shall be set apart in them before the eyes of many nations. And they shall know that I am Yahweh their Elohim, who sent them into exile among the nations, and then gathered them back to their own land, and left none of them behind. And no longer do I conceal my face from them, for I shall have poured out my spirit on the house of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh. Ooh, it's warm in here. Chapter 40. I am tired. Keep falling asleep. This is ridiculous. Chapter 40. In the 25th year of our exile at Rosh Hashanah, on the 10th of the new moon, in the 14th year after the city was stricken, on that same day, the hand of Yahweh came upon me, and he brought me there. In visions of Elohim, he brought me into the land of Israel and set me on a very high mountain, and upon it toward the south was as the structure of a city. So he brought me there, and look, a man whose appearance was like the appearance of bronze, and a line of flax, and a measuring rod in his hand. And he stood in the gateway. And the man said to me, Son of man, see with your eyes and hear with your ears, and set your heart on all that I am showing you. For you were brought here in order to show them to you. Declare to the house of Israel all that you are seeing. And look, a wall all around the outside of the house. And in the man's hand, a measuring rod, 6 cubits long, each being a cubit and a handbreadth. And he measured the width of the wall structure, 1 rod, and the height, 1 rod. Then he came to the gate facing east, and he went up its stairs and measured the threshold of the gate, 1 rod wide, and the other threshold 1 yard wide. 1 rod wide. And the little room, 1 rod long and 1 rod wide. And between the little rooms, a space of 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gate inwards from the porch of the gate was 1 rod. Then he measured the porch of the inside gate, 1 rod, and he measured the porch of the gate 8 cubits, and its posts 2 cubits, and the porch of the gate was on the inside, and the little rooms of the east gate, 3 on one side and 3 on the other, all 3 of the same size, and the posts were of the same size on its side and that side. And he measured the width of the entrance of the gate 10 cubits, and the length of the gate 13 cubits, and the border in the front of the little rooms 1 cubit on this side and 1 cubit on that side. And the gate room was 6 cubits on this side and 6 cubits on that side. And he measured the gate from the roof of one little room to the roof of the other. The width was 25 cubits, door to door. And he measured the posts 60 cubits high, even to the posts of the courtyard all around the gate. And from the front of the entrance gate to the front of the porch of the inner gate was 50 cubits. And there were narrowed window frames in the little rooms, and to their posts at the inside of the gate all around, and for the porches too, and there were windows all around on the inside, and on each post were palm trees. And he brought me into the outer courtyard, and look, rooms and a pavement made all around the courtyard, 30 rooms on the pavement. And the pavement was by the side of the gates, equal to the length of the gates, the lower pavement. And he measured the width from the front of the lower gate to the front of the inner courtyard on the outside, 100 cubits toward the east and the north. And the gate of the outer courtyard, facing north, he measured its length and its width, and its little rooms, 3 on this side, 3 on that side, its posts and its porches in the same measurements as the first gate. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits, and its windows and its porches and the palm trees had the same measurements as the gate facing east, and they went up to it by 7 steps, and its porch was in front of it. And the gate of the inner courtyard was opposite the northern gate, and at the eastern gate. And he measured from gate to gate 100 cubits, and he took me toward the south. And look, a gate toward the south, and he measured its posts and porches according to these measurements. And windows were in it, and in its porches all around like those windows. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits, and 7 steps led up to it, and its porch was in front of them. And it had palm trees on its posts, one on this side and one on that side. And the inner courtyard had a gate toward the south. And he measured from gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner courtyard through the south gate. And he measured the southern gate according to these measurements. And its little rooms and its posts and its porches were according to these measurements. And windows were in it, and in its porches all around, 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. And there were porches all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts, and 8 steps led up to it. And he brought into me into the inner courtyard toward the east, and he measured the gate according to these measurements. And its little rooms, and its posts, and its porches were according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and in its porches all around, 50 cubits long, 25 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts on this side and on that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And he brought me to the north gate, and he measured it according to these measurements, its little rooms, its posts, and its porches, and it had windows all around. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits, and its posts were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts on this side and on that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And there was a room with its entrance to the posts of the gate where they washed the ascending offering. And in the porch of the gate were 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, on which to slay the ascending offering and the sin offering and the guilt offering. And on the other side, as one went up to the entrance of the north gate, were 2 tables. And on that side of the porch of the gate were 2 tables. 4 tables were on this side and 4 tables on that side. By the side of the gate, 8 tables on which they slew. And there were 4 tables of hewn stone for the ascending offering, 1 cubit and a half long, 1 cubit and a half wide, and 1 cubit high. On these they placed the instruments and with each they slew the ascending offering and the slaughterings. And the double hooks, a handbreadth wide, were fastened all around, and on the tables was the flesh of the offerings. And on the outside of the inner gate were the rooms for the singers in their inner courtyard, one at the side of the north gate and facing south, and the other at the side of the south gate facing north. And he said to me, this room facing south is for the priests who guard the duty of the house. And the room and he said to me, this room facing south is for the priests who guard the duty of the house. And the room facing north is for the priests who guard the duty of the slaughter place. They are the sons of Sadok, from the sons of Levi, who come near Yahweh to serve him. And he measured the courtyard, 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, a square, and the slaughter place was in front of the house. And he brought me to the porch of the house, and measured the doorposts of the porch, 5 cubits on this side, and 5 cubits on that side, and the width of the gate was 3 cubits on this side, and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the width 11 cubits, and by the steps which led up to it, there were columns by the doorposts, one on this side and one on that side. And I'm going to call it at that point.